Alrighty, greetings everyone. This is Alexandria Maloney, the current BPIA president for 2022 here. Thank you so much for joining in for today's BPIA Fall President's Town Hall and Q&A. Today we'll be discussing a lot of exciting developments that's happening in BPIA and ways that the community at large, members and volunteers can get involved in the community. So for those of you who are new joining us here, whether you're a prospective member or new member, for example, or a potential partner or sponsor, the mission of BPIA is to increase the involvement of African Americans and those of African descent in the international affairs field at large. We do this through a number of different ways, primarily our three core program areas: education and exchange, professional development and mentoring, and business and economic development. BPIA has networking opportunities, workshops for professional development, educational and cultural exchange opportunities, such as our scholarship program, our Africa Forum series that connects to the economic development, a unique mentoring program, both in-house and with USIP as a partner organization, and then international experience and exposure. So in terms of the membership of BPIA, it spans from college students, graduate students, all the way up to senior officials and retired ambassadors, for example. Here is our 2022 Board of Directors. I'll hold for a moment here, and I'm going to open my screen here to show any of our board members present. So when I call on you, feel free to just do a brief introduction of yourself. So I see Sandila is here on the line.
Hi, good evening, Sandila. I'm the Vice President of Professional Development. Happy to join the call.
Fantastic, thanks. And for any of the other board members that you see here, their contact information is located in our members directory on the members only side of the house. And then if you are interested in connecting with one for a particular committee or effort, then you can do so by emailing BPIA outreach at iabpia.org. So in terms of core developments, there's three primary things that I'll be discussing today. So one, our strategic planning and daily operations. Two, engaging the BPIA community in our membership. And then three, bringing opportunities to BPIA. So in terms of our organizational developments this year thus far, I'll give kind of a high level overview of some of the categories or buckets, if you will, of developments. So when we first got started, early 2022, we did our board leadership retreat and our strategic planning, which helped to set the blueprint for this year and the programs and the events that we've done. We've also continued our BPI core program series. One of them in particular is with the Business and Economic Development branch that focuses on US African diaspora and entrepreneurial opportunities. And then another biggie was that we updated and revamped our BPI website as well as our members portal. So our Slack channel, our opportunity board, our Google listserv. This year, we also reactivated the BPIA Advisory Council. So these are leaders in our field who are committed to the mission of BPIA and open to helping in terms of a variety of different ways, but helping to connect BPIA with opportunities and resources to continue the work that we're doing. I'm going to pause here because I see we have one advisory board member that advisory council member who I'm going to put on the spot a little. If you're able to unmute and introduce yourself. You may be in a place where you can't unmute, but I see that we have Daryl on, and I'm hoping that's Daryl Blocker.
It is, and I just unmuted. Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. I'm the one that's calling in from Santa Monica, California. I'm a first-time advisory council member and interested in engaging with anyone about any topic, quite frankly. I do some ABC News stuff. My background was as intelligence, but of course I know the state side, I know the AID side, and international affairs is important. And I'm trying to get that across to Hollywood out here in some in some shape, form, or fashion. So thank you for introducing me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Blocker. So additional organizational developments have included new sponsors, partners, and affiliates that I'll share a little bit later. Updating our internal governance practices, so the creation of a code of conduct, our new BPIA mentorship platform, and U.S. Institute of Peace mentorship program. So I'll pause here and let Sandila share a little bit more about those programs and how, for members, how to get involved with them.
Sure. So we were really excited earlier this year to go digital with our mentoring program. And the way to get involved is, number one, to make sure that you're a BPA member. And then number two, I'll put the link for the push bar application in the chat in just a moment. And so you apply there and you'll be invited on, and you'll see that we have over 30 different mentors and quite a few mentees as well. And you can match both as a mentor or mentee and or both. And so we really, really welcome to join that. And there's professional development events almost every other month. Our next upcoming one, which is targeted at the mentoring program, is the Future of Work. And that's going to be in early November. And I'll also put the link to that event in the chat.
Great. Thank you so much, Sandila. This year, we also have our 2022 career fair coming up. So that is scheduled for November 18th, a Friday from 1 to 5 p.m. It will be virtual, as it has been in the past 2 years. We are currently open for business in terms of sponsorship, exhibitors, and recruiter opportunities. So if those are of interest to you, or you'd like more information on the career fair, that can be found under the career fair tab on the BPIA website. Another organizational development that was new this year was the Off the Record series hosted by BPI's membership chair, Cliff Jeffries. He's currently on assignment with diplomatic security in Egypt. And so the hours have him, he's probably fast asleep right now. No, probably not. I'm sure he's up working and securing. But in any case, that's been a fantastic program that has had honest conversation with members, with current professionals across a variety of different industries. In terms of some of our resources that we've provided for members this year, and expanding on them in particular. So the first is the BPI Opportunity Board. All the things that are listed here can be found on the members only page of our website. The Opportunity Board is open to the general public, current members, recruiters, anyone who has an opportunity to share. So whether that's a job, full-time, part-time, internship, fellowship, that's a list, a Google listserv board of about 400 participants. We've also created and formalized more new committees this year with BPIA, working groups, and city and campus liaisons. So I'll have the listing of those opportunities a little bit further in today's presentation. And then lastly, the work in developing our membership directory. So that is also located on the members only portion of our website. And that was a pretty big project for our membership committee. So kudos on that initiative. For those who are in the DC area, you may have attended a BPIA First Friday. So since about March, we've had in-person happy hours begin again around the DC area in different places and different venues, which has been an exciting reinvigoration, if you will. We also began with virtuals earlier in the year, and since last month, we've reinstituted them again on a monthly basis for those who are not in the DC area, but who want to connect with professionals who are located all around the world. And if I could just flag for the technology team to keep an eye on the waiting room to make sure that we're letting folks in, please. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna try to move this box here. Okay, here we go. Next, the BPIA Executive Leadership Fireside Series. So we, this year, this series has been instituted. We've had a number of exciting leadership-based programs, both in person and virtual. So our monthly White House briefings, for example, with a variety of senior officials on timely topics on Ukraine, on Western Hemisphere, Latin America. Coming in early November, we have one with the Senior Director for Strategy on the National Security Strategy that was just recently released. A few weeks ago, we had an in-person executive leadership series with the founder of Foreign Policy for America and his team, Andrew Albertson, Christina Biad. We also did a very well-attended collaborative event with Deloitte featuring Undersecretary for Arms Control, Bonnie Jenkins, as well as her senior advisor, Rachel Thomas, who's also a BPI member. That event also featured the Saudi ambassador to the US, Princess Rima, and was graciously organized and coordinated by BPI Advisory Council member Combez. Lastly, coming up next month, we'll have a CSIS in-person leadership keynote luncheon with BPIA advisory member Nicole Annendahl at the CSIS headquarters. All right, and then for the BPIA Global Tech Podcast, we were recently invited this past September to attend UNGA, the UN General Assembly Week that happens once a year, and a few of the side events, one of them including the Bill and Melinda Gates Goalkeepers Summit and Award. So now I'll pass to Malik Harris, who's BPIA's recently recognized Director of Media Relations. So I'll go ahead and pass it to you, Malik, to give a readout of this event.
Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Alexandria, for handing it off. It was an amazing time. As the world leaders gathered for the 77th United Nations General Assembly, we had the privilege, like Alexandria said, of attending this and honestly asking real questions. So this is going to be a series that we're going to kind of work into a podcast, almost like the format of like the fireside chats, to just talk about, real issues and the certain values that, BPIA share with everybody. So one of those values that I wanted to highlight was zero hunger. We had people like Chef Pierre, who's an executive chef of the award-winning restaurant Knock in Lagos. And he talked about the future of food as climate changes, asking those real questions and what resources can we actually maintain and sustainably use as we move forward. And then one of my favorites, I got to speak with Renee DeResta, who's the research manager at Stanford's Internet Observatory. And so the conversation went, as we're trying to restore this trust and this fight against misinformation. I'm sure everybody is familiar with the effects of misinformation and disinformation and how they affect marginalized communities. Most of my research has been in that area. We were working on media literacies. And so we got to ask real questions, like I said before, about what that would actually look like. And sorry, my dog's in the background. And I think one of the most important things for me as well too was just the demonstration of the many women of color that got to curate the entire experience. I'm sure you guys know that Chimamanda Ngozi was also there, and she and Melinda Gates had a discussion on, how do we actually get past our barriers to more equitable futures when, culture is being defined still by men. There's a whole new rhetoric and discussions that we need to have in introduction of children and other cultures into the discussion of how to actually move forward, because they offer the most insight. And so it was a wonderful, wonderful time. Alexandria and I and some of the BPI members then followed up in going to the internet I believe I think it was called Pathways to Respect. It was like an educational initiative from the Office of International Religious Freedom. And then we also joined YCAPS as well too on their initiative. So it was also a very, collaborative driven week, to say the least, running around and speaking with everybody that brings so many talents to everything. So if you guys want to know more information and if you guys want a thorough recap, we are preparing some video materials for that, and we're so happy to share those soon.
Great. Thank you so much, Malik, for providing that overview of the podcast recent field trip to New York City. And also thank you for your effort in joining, and capturing this pretty historical event with some large, global change makers.
Of course.
So just to give some color to the different committee opportunities and ways that members can engage in the BPI community. So we have a variety of different committee opportunities available. So whether it's more in the topic area or support and administrative areas, we have a variety of different options here for members to review. And if you are interested in joining a committee, you can find that information for the co-chair in a contact sheet located on the members only section of the website. In addition to the committees, we also have working groups. So you're able to connect with different social interest groups, again, either through the contact sheet in the members only section or directly by joining the Slack channel for the different region or topic or language that you may be interested in. And then lastly, on bringing opportunities to BPIA. So again, we have our new BPIA Opportunity Board. If you haven't already joined, we have over 400 participants who are there, both inside and external to the BPI community, sharing different job announcements, fellowships, scholarships, a lot of different information. We also have our members only job section in our Slack channel and our website, for example, as well as the directory. Those have about 300 active members who are participating. And then also we share information across our social media. So we have about 8,000 followers across all of our platforms where we share different opportunities, jobs, fellowships, and scholarships, as well as positive news as it relates to the members of our community. The BPI Scholarship Program, and I was just notified that the deadline has been extended to November 1st. So if you'd like more information on that, that can be found on the BPI website. High impact partnerships and sponsorship opportunities. So I'll share a little bit more in the coming slides, but this is an area that we really like to lean into in terms of creating kind of meaningful relationships and connections with organizations, foundations, and the like who want to or feel aligned with the mission of BPIA and wanting to engage in diverse communities in terms of sharing and engaging and educating. And then lastly, the opportunity that will always exist is to volunteer with BPIA. So again, we have a variety of different committees, working groups, and the like that you as a member can get involved and engaged in no matter your career level or professional background. So in terms of some of our current partners, sponsors, and affiliates, you'll see here that these are our current folks that we engage with on a kind of financial sustained level. For the upcoming career fair, there are opportunities to engage as a sponsor. So if that's something that your organization may be interested in, then we invite you to come onto the career fair web page on our website to find more information about that and the brochure. Here's some examples of some of our past partners, again, sponsors and affiliates that span the range of nonprofit organizations, multilateral, graduate schools, agencies, and universities as well, and fellowships. So again, if you haven't already seen our blast on the email and social media, we are open for sponsors, exhibitors, and recruiters for the upcoming career fair. So please do share it across your networks and with your organizations. And lastly, if you're not already, consider joining BPIA as a member. So with that, that concludes the kind of formal presentation for today. This town hall is being recorded and it will be circulated on our YouTube channel and across our social media so that we can keep our community and BPIA at large informed on the things that are happening inside of our community and who and how we're engaging externally. So with that, we'll go ahead and open for Q&A here. And so feel free to either, you can put questions into the chat or you can do the raise hand function to be identified to ask a question if you like. And while folks think on their questions, I also wanted to bring forth, I see we have a few additional board members and advisory council members. So just so folks can put a name with a face there, I'll go ahead and open the floor for you all to introduce yourselves. I'm just opening my participants here. We pause for a moment. I think I saw Cal Williams, your name come on, but I'm here scanning. All right, I'll go ahead. I see we have two additional advisory council members on. So one is Dr. Jeannie Tungara. If you'd like to, if you're in a place where you can unmute and introduce yourself. And I know sometimes folks may be listening in, so I'll just keep the ball rolling. If you're able to unmute in the future, please feel free to. Lastly, I see that we have
He's coming in.
Oh, okay.
I see it.
Okay. Connecting the
Okay,
audio.
I just want to say congratulations to Alexandria and her team. You've done a phenomenal job this year of bringing forward new programming and new participants. This is what BPIA needs. I want to encourage anybody out there who's looking for an opportunity or who has their talents to share, please sign on and reply to the opportunities as Alexandria has presented. This is a wonderful organization and a great opportunity to build out your resume. Thank you, Alexandria, for everything that you're doing.
And thank you so much, Dr. Tungar, for all that you've done to help build as our former VP of Education and Exchange in terms of the scholarship program and the first two official virtual career fairs. So thank you so much too. Righty, and I see Mr. Johnny Sawyer is also online, another advisory council member. If you're able to unmute and introduce yourself, if you like. All right, maybe in a place where you can't unmute. The last person I'll be going to is board member Alexandria Baker Haidara. If you're in a place where you're able to unmute, I saw your note that you're still working, so I don't know if you're in your break.
I'm here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, everyone, I just put on video. But yes, thank you so much. Yep, I'm Alexandria Haidara. I'm the board member at large and also host of Global Take. And I was in New York with the team. So just to give you a backstory, you know, we were invited by UNGA, not by UNGA, but by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation directly because someone had heard about Global Take. And when we talked about doing that podcast, it was a project, but I didn't think, I wasn't sure, you know, where it would lead to us and how big we could get. But I think with more volunteers and where we are now, I mean, just the fact that we were invited to that event when we were with world leaders, like I met the first Black mayor of Bristol in England there, and like just so many like incredible people, and was able to connect with him when I went to travel to London 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, I think those are the type of opportunities that BPIA offers, just to be able to build your resume. And I'm a living testament of that. I was able to use the podcast to add to my resume and profile, and it allowed me to pivot and get into the international affairs space at State Department. So I think this is a great opportunity for everyone to see all the incredible work that BPIA is doing. And I hope you guys get involved and stay connected and volunteer and listen to the podcast because we're really big now. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. And Alexandria, kudos to you as the founder of that podcast that has been bringing a lot of visibility, not only to BPIA and our organization, but to leaders in our field and increasing our visibility into the external world. And I think that this recent, the UNGA invitation and the Bill and Melinda, these invitations are kind of our proof of that you are getting, you know, reach and folks are really tuning in to that program. So I just want to say kudos to you.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. And then lastly, and again, if you have some Q&A or questions or just simple or your reflections of BPIA or any suggestions or feedback, happy to also take that as well. I'm going to pass it to Cola Fellow, who's the co-chair of the Business and Economic Development Committee, to share a little bit more about her series. I know it is probably extremely late right now because you are based in Switzerland, but thank you for being on, and it's good to see that you're here.
I didn't mean to open the video because I don't look like I should. But thank you so much for holding this. I think this is a very valuable platform for us to talk about what we've been doing. And, you know, the Business and Economic Development Committee, we've been really lucky to have so much support from the community. So thank you to all that have come to our series on advancing African American entrepreneurship. It's a 6-part series. We've already had 2 webinars. The first one was on African American entrepreneurship and opportunities in the US. The second one happened about 2 weeks ago, and that was trade and investment relations between African Americans and Africans. The next 4 will be on the Caribbean, Latin America, Europe, and I am missing one other, I forgot. But nonetheless, it's, you know, really trying to get economic and investment and trade opportunity between, you know, people of African descent in general. And just to let you know, we'll also be having, you know, the usual regional economic outlook on Sub-Saharan Africa. Should be happening in the next 2 months. So please look out for that and look forward to having you at our events. Thanks so much.
Fantastic and excellent work with the series to you and Suli and your full team. I was fortunate to be in attendance at the last event, and you all had an excellent turnout and a star-studded panel and very good discussion and timely dialogue. All right, so again, we're gonna open the floor. Look, I'll hold it for a few minutes and then you all know how I roll. So I like to do a little networking lounge. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and push the stop recording.